So hello, I'm Craig, and I had a really successful year last year. So at the end of the year, I ended up purchasing a pick and place machine for my consulting business, and it's here. It got shipped over from China on DHL. I ordered it on like the 24th of December, and it was here on January 3rd. Just going to do a little bit of unboxing. This is a Charmhigh CHMT48VA. This is a visual assisted machine that's capable of, if you watch the company's YouTube videos, it can place 0201 parts, which I probably would never get down that small. But I plan on actually switching, if this is successful, switching from 0603 down to 0402 parts. So I want to show you some things that I see on the box. The shipping box actually came in from DHL, and it's actually really pristine. It came in a nice 3/4 inch plywood, looks like 11 ply plywood shipping container. The only damage really is a little bit of this corner is knocked off out here, but internally to the box there's no markings on the outside, there's no extensive dings, there's nothing. Here at the company that I'm currently consulting for, the shipping department went ahead and took the top off and did a visual inspection while DHL was here, and everything looks fine. But we're going to go ahead and take this out in this video, and we're going to go ahead and do like a formal unboxing, and I'll take some high resolution shots of this machine as we get it unpacked. So with the top taken off, it's completely enclosed in a giant piece of foam, and inside of here, if you look at this, we have the machine itself. So here are all the feeders on this end, and that's the front side over there, and it comes with a inspection report, and it looks like everything was inspected on the way out of the factory, and this inspection report was checked by 3 different people at Charmhigh. And they went ahead and shipped, in addition to my machine, I ordered a reflow oven and a stencil print template jig. So I think this top part here is the stencil printer. So it's placed upside down, so your board will be here, and then the stencil will come down on a hinge here. We'll have another video showing that. That all looks good. And inside of here, you see it's got adequate foam everywhere. And this is actually the real unboxing. I resisted for 2 days to actually look at any of this stuff. So I have a friend here actually running the camera today. And one thing I didn't mention was the shipping container weight was 220 pounds. And unfortunately, I ended up paying a 25% tariff on this machine. So in addition to its list price of $4,800, I bought this on AliExpress. The machine itself was, the reflow oven, and that stencil, the stencil jig was $4,000, and shipping was $800. You know, like I said, it did get here in about 10 days. And I get a call from DHL saying that it was held up in, I think it was in Cincinnati, and I ended up paying $1,000, roughly 25% tariff on the entire order. So I didn't figure that out until after I ordered it. But if you look through thousands of pages of tariff information, automated pick and place machines are actually a listed item on the U.S. tariff. So that just means I need to make more boards, and that's fine. I don't know how much this machine weighs, but I do know that I can't lift it out myself. If I do that, I won't be able to move for a couple of weeks. So Nathan's going to turn the camera off, and we're going to go ahead and pull this out. We have a workspace over here for it. We're going to go ahead and get this set up and go through the initial checkout. Okay. So I managed to get it out of here. What do you think it weighed? Probably 80 pounds, maybe. Anyway, it's pretty beefy. You know, your initial view of it is, well, I'll say one thing. It does have rubber feet on the bottom, and the top plate where everything is machined to go on it is probably looks like a, I don't know, about a ½ inch, maybe 5/8 inch sheet of aluminum, and that's where all the, you know, the accurate machining goes on. And if you look at this, you know, here's the place head, here's the down camera, here's the up camera. Then we have this axis and this axis back here. So I guess this is Y. This must be X. It does have a stepper motor that runs these. These are the tape take-up reels for the little plastic cover that's on your tape, and these are individually adjusted with set screws in here, and this whole reel ends up being a friction fit. And so when the part gets moved by the pin header, which pulls the tape through, this motor turns and pulls the tape back out of there. And these are numbered 1 through 29, so you have 29 positions over here. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. You can do 22 8mm tapes, and it looks like, I don't know, maybe 4 12mm, 2 16, and then look like 24. Then up here are for your large ICs that you don't have on tape. They go in these positions here. And this is the VA machine, so I have 29 feeders on this side. If you get the VB, you'll get another feeder set over on this side. It does look like the machine was, this top plate is machined for the other side, but I didn't buy that part. It was fairly expensive for me, as is. Anyway, what we're going to do is look at the quick start manual that came from Charmhigh, and we're going to probably cut off all these zip ties that are on here and make sure it moves in all the axes, and then we're going to power it up and go through the self-test. So let's go ahead and do that. Going. So here's a little box of goodies that got sent over from Charmhigh. So we'll go ahead and show you what comes in the kit here. So it comes with 4 Juki nozzles in this little foam pouch. Looks like an alignment target. This is probably for tuning your camera and doing the focus on your up and down cameras. Pair of tweezers, some kind of, oh, this is linear bearing grease, a very fine brush. These here are your tray standoffs that go, they screw into here, and then you can put your IC part trays down in the machine area to, you know, if you buy ICs that come in a tray. This looks like a solenoid Oh, this is the pull pin solenoid. This is probably a spare. I'll have to look at that, but I doubt they have you install this. This is probably just the spare. Some knobs to hold these guys down. Various Allen wrenches. It looks like an extra pull pin. And there's a couple of O-rings. This is 4 O-rings for something. Okay, now I read through the quick guide, and I don't really see a mention of any of these parts, but we'll go ahead and put these back in. We're going to go ahead and turn it on. I'll plug it in and turn it on because we're at that point. What I have done is I've cut out all the zip ties that are on the machine, and I've actually moved the axis. So you don't want to move stepper motors too fast because the back EMF will backdrive the stepper driver, and it also ends up powering the circuit board. So you don't want to move those too fast. I've actually burned out boards by spinning stepper motors with a drill. I mean, you literally smoked the stepper drivers. But I got this axis cleared. This one here didn't have any retention on it, which is fine. And this axis here is also free to move. So I think what we'll do, the moment of truth, is we will plug it in. If you come over here, you can see that there's a power switch on this end and the e-stop switch. If you watch some YouTube videos on this, some other people have put in this apparently e-stop switch is a software driven e-stop, and some other people have actually mounted a switch that kill the stepper drivers, the power to the stepper drivers. And we'll plug this guy in here, turn it on. There's a little bit of dust on here, machining marks, not too much. I did read that this lens cover here is plastic, and some people have mentioned on the forums that they've replaced this with a piece of glass. I'm going to go with what we got here. I don't want to make too many modifications. I do want to somewhat keep this machine as it came from the factory. One of the reasons why I bought this machine instead of actually making it is that I spent about a year getting a kind of a big CNC router going at my house, and I ended up taking the stance where I will do all the work and build the electronics and things. And what I found is I'm really interested in making the machine part of it as opposed to using the machine for what I really should be doing. So I decided to not build one of these things, even though I've started. I just bought this thing and I got to start using it right away. So here we go, the moment of truth. Got a power supply clunk. Got a boot up screen. It says confirm to zero the machine. I guess we'll try it. I don't know if that's how we're supposed to go. There is a micro switch here, and there's another one somewhere else, probably mounted on this back there somewhere. Yeah, there's another micro switch here, so it did go and zero out on X and Y. So now it said it got zeroed. Oh, but we do have a little warning sign up here. Oh, these are alarms. There's no alarms yet. So this is a capacitive touchscreen here, and I'm running CHMT version 2.5, and it does have the right date. This isn't the right time though. We'll go ahead and set that. We'll go over to Diagnostics. I think that's the vacuum pump got turned on. So I think we'll go to the machine origin first, which I believe is going to be over here. doesn't sound that good. Did it bang in back here? Oh, I see. Oh, this got a little bent. Okay, so there's a rail back here to hold the drag chain up, and it looks like that was bent down, and what's happening is on the way back it's whacking that drag chain mount on the standoff for this linear rail. So go ahead and stop the camera. So here's kind of the problem. This little track here holds the drag chain off, and what was happening, let's see if I can get my hand in there. This side was bent down a little bit, and it was whacking into the support arm here, the standoff for the linear rail. So we just gently bent this back up again and got it back up, so we have clearance now between this corner and the top of that. We don't get that clunk when we're going back here. So we'll continue our checkout. We'll play around with this machine a little bit, then we'll go ahead and show you what we found. But as is, it did make it through the zeroing, which is great. So we're going to run a diagnostic run, play around with it a little bit, then we'll be right back. Alright, we have it powered on, and we're in a diagnostic screen here. We do have one of the Juki modules in here. This one is for 0603 and bigger parts. I think it's like a 503 or something like that. So we're going to go ahead and run some of these things on the diagnostic. We're going to go ahead and move over to the machine origin. So this is so it does a homing cycle. It ran over there and it ran to the machine origin. So now we're going to move nozzle 1 to up camera. This is the up camera. We're in nozzle 1. So this is showing you the bottom of the nozzle looking up, and then you can hit the enlarge here and see that the actual nozzle is. And if you wanted to, you can move it around a little bit. When it says L in the middle, that's for little steps, and H or low steps, and H is for high steps. So you can kind of move it around. It's not really important where this is because it will eventually find it. So the movement works. Here's nozzle 2 to up camera. Now we don't have a nozzle in there, but you can see the bottom of it without a nozzle. So here's that little, I think it's a NEMA 8 stepper motor, and it's a hollow shaft. Alright, then we'll go to material stack position. We're going to go to number 1 here. So it moved over to number 1, and we're now seeing the down camera center of where it's going to pull the next part out. Okay, so this is what we're actually looking at. We don't have enough leader on our 8mm tape to actually do that, so we just tied a little extension on there. We just hand pull it. Okay, so now we're just in diagnostic. We're not calibrating anything yet, so it's close. You know, we'll show that in a minute. Pull tape position for number 1. It's going to move over, and if you look down, if you look down from this side, so this thing here is a solenoid with one of those pins in it, and I'm going to go ahead and push the pin down. I think this is what's going to do it. Okay, so you see it goes in the feeder pull hole. So that's all functioning. The next one is PCB origin. So if you look at this, there's a feature that's been machined into this the PCB holder. It's got a little notch right there that actually will show you the 0 position of your board, and so we can move this around and also enlarge it. Okay, so like if you want to set the 0 point on your board, you can do it here. We also have the ability to move the head to that location with this little button here. So now this head is positioned right over the origin. So we'll go back to vision. So now we're back at vision. Okay, that all looks good. What's the next button over here? Move is just a straight jog. That just lets you move around if you wanted to. That's move. Work light up is this light right here. Work light down is like I said, there's an LED string on the bottom side of the drag chain holder. Collect film is the next one, and there's a stepper motor that actually spins this belt, which will spin all these. So I'll go ahead and do the collect film. And the last one in this row is the pull needle. So if you get back underneath there, we'll see the pull needle come down. And let's get back out here. So let's do M head. M head is going to move this down, but I'm not in a very good position to do the M head because I don't want to move that down and do that. So what I'm going to do is here, so I'm going to move this thing over the board. Actually, I'm not going to get near the board. I'm going to get over here. Okay, so when we move the head down, we're not going to hit anything. So we'll do M head, and you see that it moves head number 1 down. I'm going to do M head 2, and then here's rotate on 1. Here's rotate on 2, and then the last 2 things on this screen are vacuum 1 and vacuum 2. So if you turn that on and you feel underneath here, you can actually feel there's vacuum there. Vacuum 2 clicks the vacuum over to this head, and you can kind of feel there's vacuum here. Then we have blow 1 and blow 2. And what that does is it blows a little bit of air out the tip of the nozzle, which will force the part down onto the board and get it off of the nozzle. So that's what's all in the diagnostic screen. So we'll be right back and we'll run the board here. Okay, so what we have over here, we're going to go over here to files on this menu here. We have our USB key stuck in here with the CSV file of the centroids. This is following the example, and Nathan and I messed around with this an hour and a half to get the CSV format correct. We believe there's some errors in the documentation, which is fine, but we were able to look at their example file and create one, and we're going to go and show you. It's not all the parts on this board, it's just a few capacitors. So the first thing is you go to files and you say file import, and then this is the file import screen, and you go CSV files. It shows you our CSV files, and we were on revision number 8 of our CSV file, so we're going to say import all. And then this is running embedded Linux here. So at this point here, what it's doing is it's doing a file system sync. So it copied the file over, but it's in RAM here, and then it's going to force it onto the SD card, I guess, inside the embedded Linux board. So you got to wait a few seconds. We're going to go back. That was file import. Then we'll do a convert file. And here's CSV8. We'll open that up, and then what this is, we haven't converted a file. The whole conversion process goes from CSV to DPV, which is I guess the digital placement file or something like that. But these are the 5 components that we actually have in our CSV file. We have the footprint, we have the X and Y coordinate, which layer it is, either top or the bottom, what its angle is, and what it's in the comment section is the as the part that it actually is. And so while we don't know this for sure, but we think that it pulls out which part is what out of the comment column, meaning that if we had like 10 microfarad capacitors in here, the comment section would be 10 microfarad, 10 microfarad, 10 microfarad, it would know that the 10 microfarad parts are on feeder number 2. We think that that's the case, but we're just picking parts off our one piece of tape here. So we're going to convert that, and what that does is it shows us the station list. So it figured out that the comment was 0.01, so it's going to use head number 1. The feed is the distance between the parts on the tape, and X and Y offset are set to 0, and its height is I think that's 0.5 millimeters. I believe that's what that is. So we're going to hit the save here, and we're going to name the file again. We'll just name it HW8, Hello World 8. So we have that going, and then we're going to come back over here, and we're going to go all the way back to the top screen. We're going to hit the Run menu, and what got created is this DPV file, HW8, so we're going to load that. Alright, so this is the Run screen here. I don't know what this blinking one is up here, do you know?
We haven't calibrated the PCB.
So if we hit that, it says PCB coordinates not calibrate. Alright, so what do we end up doing?
We'll go back one.
We go back one.
And we edit.
Oh, you have to edit here.
The work file. Yeah.
Edit the work file.
We can do PCB calibrate on that last tab.
Oh, up here, PCB calibrate. Okay, so it found 2 parts out of the CSV file that are far apart, and so the first thing we're going to do is hit calibrate. And what it says, all right, this is part number 1 is C4. So if you hit this up arrow, it's going to take you over there and show you C4. So you can see that we're a little bit off on C4.
So large too.
Yeah, I'm almost there. So we get that over, and then we hit the enlarge. Okay, so you can kind of see that this is where C4 is. You kind of get in the center and you say set. We haven't played around with auto center and find target yet, but we're going to just manually set things. So we hit set here. Then we're going to do the bottom one. Now unfortunately I just randomly picked some, and this RC1 is not really an 0603 part, but you'll kind of get the idea. So we're going to set C1. So just kind of find this center, and that looks okay. So alright, so that's the calibration run. And what is this one now? Okay, we got to clear all the alarms. Alright, good. So now we're going to do run?
Yeah, yep.
We're going to load it. Now at this point we can run individual components, or we can actually go find these components. How do we do that? Do we have to do that in the edit screen?
Yes.
Okay, so let's do that first. Let's go back over here to which one was it?
Yeah, it's in run. Still.
It's in run?
When we edit the work file.
Oh, you edit the work file. Okay. So you bring up a part.
Yeah, edit the part.
You edit the part, and then over here, so we're editing component 2, and it's at this coordinates here. So you do this coordinate set, and it brings that part up. And this is C2. We picked another one of those big parts. Let's go back. Which one was the bit? What was it? 4. Let's try that one. There we go. There's C4 right there. So you can move around in the edit screen and make sure that the camera coordinates are correct, and based on the board coordinates. So you edit the work file, you set the board position with the 2 components, and then individually you can go down and inspect where the head is going to actually end up placing it. You do all that in the edit screen. So we'll go back here. So everything looks good. We're in the edit now. Oh, okay. Let's gotta do this again here. All right. So now we're in the run screen, and we're gonna go ahead and run a part. So we'll just run that last part. and we're going to do it manually. So this step thing will actually go through all the steps that are involved in running the part. So you pull that part over there. So the first thing that's going to happen, no, you just go ahead and do it off there, it's fine. You do step, and you can kind of see that it's moved over, and it's actually going to do the pull first. Now it's going to pick the part out. So it moved to picking it out. And something else, it's not going. Oh. Pull that out. You're not pulling. There you go. Try this one more time. It's getting hung up for some reason.
It did that to me once.
Let's try to have it one part. It's not doing it. Well, we'll zoom forward and see if it works. We're gonna hit the run here. When we did this before, oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. So there's a problem with these vision systems, and the way it works is that I have the overhead light on like right above my head, and the up camera is actually seeing a lot of this light, so it's messing up. So we had when we first did this, we ended up figuring out, oh, we got to turn the lights out. Okay, this is a pretty common problem. So reach over there and click that light switch off. All right, let's try it again here. We're gonna do step. Pull that. You got to pull that tape a little bit more. There you go. Nothing.
Still gets stuck there.
All right. Well, let's just do a run here. We don't have any alarms. All right. Let's try it again.
Okay.
Okay, so we ended up, we're learning about what's going on with this machine. The step function does work. We actually ended up stepping through the entire step sequence. And for us, what happened was it moved over, it pushed the push pin down, then it pulled the part out. That was one step. Next step was it moved the nozzle over to the right position, moved it to the right position to pick it out. Then the next step was to go down and pick it up. Then we did the step again, and it goes over and it does the camera operation. Then the final step is it moves over to above the part, and then the last step is it puts it on the board. For some reason, maybe my giant fingers aren't working on the touchscreen down at the edge, but the step functionality does work. And then you just saw that we ran those 5 parts, and what did it take? Like 20 seconds to place them all. And we actually did go through with the step command and figured out that it was getting stuck in the right position before we actually started placing parts. So I'd say we're really successful in what we did here, and I'd say we got over here at about 1:30, and now it's about 4:30, and so that's 3 hours, and we worked on messing around with the CSV file and getting that format correct for about an hour and a half. So total unboxing, from pulling the top off to getting it up here, playing around with it, learning what it does, getting it calibrated. If we knew what we were doing, we could have done it all in 2 hours, and we would have been able to make a board here in 2 hours. This is our first experience. I've never actually run a pick and place machine. I can probably safely say I've never actually seen one, but I've been an electrical engineer for I don't know, I graduated 25 years ago, and so I've had hundreds of boards made, and now with this machine I'm going to be able to do my own prototyping here for my consulting business. Alright, well, that's it for now. I think the next video we'll go ahead and run a real board, and then I'm going to go ahead and show you some things about the reflow oven that I've learned, and we'll go ahead and make this board. Alright, well, thanks for watching.